Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to answer a question that was left on our podcast. If you haven't seen it, it's episode 2. It's called The Brave New World of the Arts of Painter and Poet podcast. Also available on Spotify now. If you want to go listen to that instead of watching it on my YouTube, you can do that. But somebody left a question on the podcast, and I thought it was a great question. I thought I should probably answer this I was going to answer it in the next podcast, but I thought, you know what, I think it's such a good question that I should do it in its entirely own video. So here's the question. The question is by 60s Gal 101. You talked about how you feel that art today just focuses on concept and that the skill set mastering of a craft has been lost. What artists do you follow, appreciate? That could be something maybe to add to your podcast about current practicing artists to make art more accessible to non-art world people. Thumbs up. Thank you so much, 60s Gal. That's what I intend to do today. So today I'm going to show you through, I don't know how many artists. I'm going to get through as many as physically possible just to show you guys all these fantastic artists that I follow today. So I follow quite a few over on my Instagram. So let's head over there and I'll show you as many as I can. So like any good person that uses Instagram a lot, I do have a saves tab. So I have a saves tab called art shit, and that's where I save thousands of pieces of art. How about I'm gonna scroll through this and I'll stop every time it's somebody that I actually follow. I think majority of these is like people I follow and admire and love their work. I'll show you and we'll go through it like that, and I'll cut it up in the editing process so you don't have to sit through all of this painstaking scrolling. So this isn't going to be in any particular order whatsoever. This is just simply going to be through this list. I'm going to scroll through and click through and show you some guys and gals. So I don't think I'm going to do this in any particular order whatsoever. I'm just going to scroll through, go by who I'm seeing through this list, and then I'm gonna just stop, tell you a little bit about them, show you some of their works, and tell you why I admire their works. But yeah, here we go. Let's start here. Chris Long, or Long Painter, his Instagram tag you can see there up the top. He is somebody I followed for quite a long time. I'd say about a couple of years plus. Probably plus. He does these fantastic, really beautiful. How about I do it in the list here? I don't know if he does these on plein air, so on location. I don't think so. I think these are all studio works from what I've seen of him. He does these beautiful, impressionistic, expressive paintings, and what's really cool about them is that most of them he's painted on top of paintings. So what he's done is he's just scraped back old paintings and painted on top of them. That's why you can see all this crazy texture in the paintings there. You can see all this crazy texture pumping through. That's not just because he's laid the paint that way. It's because he's painted on top of paintings. He's just scraped back old paintings and painted on top of them. I think he's a phenomenal artist. I really love his work. But yeah, he's such a fantastic artist. You should go follow him. Long Painter. Next up, Robin Cole. Robin, I think I've only been following her for a little while. I think only the last year, maybe. Last year and a bit. So not as long as Long Painter, but her works are just phenomenal. I mean, look at that. That's fucking amazing. Don't you think? That's awesome. And then her drawings are no different. Her drawings are just out of this world. So great. I really love the way she paints and the way she draws is fantastic. I really love everything about her work. Just look at this caliber of her work. It's fantastic. She does on plein air studies and paints outdoors, and then obviously teaches the studio work and stuff like that. Fantastic artist. I think her paintings are phenomenal. Nicholas O'Leary. I've followed this guy for quite some time. He's from Norway. There you go, Norway. Nicholas_O'Leary art. This guy is awesome. I love the way this guy paints. It's just, look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. The way he captures the values and the light, just with simple brushworks and stuff like that. That's amazing, don't you think? I thought that was so sick. And he's he's looking at the same tree, doing the same study of them, but over the course of like obviously different days. But man, he's phenomenal. I think he's just predominantly plein air painting. Yeah, there you go. He's out there painting on plein air there, and here as well. Man, he's just a fantastic artist. I really highly recommend him as well. Look at that. That's phenomenal. So forgive me, I probably can't pronounce his name, but I'll just say his Instagram tag, Art Zorkin. I followed this guy for maybe the last 6 months, a year. Only this year did I find him. Man, Russian painters. If you don't know about Russian painters, you got to go look up Russian painters. They're all amazing. They're so fantastic. Yeah, like this guy's just on a whole nother level. So this was one of his most recent. I'll show you what the scale of this is. Phenomenal. It's like a couple of feet long. You know, he's doing some like on plein air studies here. The way the Russian artists paint are just phenomenal. The way he paints is just great. You know, obviously he's doing landscape, figurative works. It's just great. I just love the way he paints and he applies paint. You know, his drawings are great too. I really enjoy his drawings. Russians have this incredible style to their drawings. If you don't, they really approach drawing in this whole different manner. You should look up New Masters Academy. They have a really fantastic lesson on the drawings and how Russian painters draw. It's phenomenal. It's just something completely different. Here you go. This will give you a sense of the style of that work. How awesome is that? That's just so powerful and impactful. It's just huge and really just really encapsulates this fucking power of the work. Like, look at that. Look at how big that is, you know? It just looks amazing, you know? And that, like, he's done all these studies for it as well. It's so great. Man, this guy's phenomenal. I really highly recommend him too. Alex Venezia. You can find him up here. This is his tag. Just pause the video and type it into Instagram. This guy I've followed for a number of years. He's just a goddamn master in his own right. Like, he knows his medium inside and out. He knows how to paint inside and out. Like, his values work, his brush work, his tones, his contrast, everything. He's just pumped. He's so good. Look at that pole there. Like, and then look at the brick there. It's just so painterly, but so just like on spot with like lifelike colors and shadows and everything. You know, he knows his craft and he knows how to translate what it is he wants to tell to the world, and he does it in such a masterful way. You know, it's just amazing. You know, he renders out fantastically. I really highly recommend this guy too. So instead of saying I'm going to highly recommend everybody here that I mention in this video, I'm going to highly recommend. So if you hear me keep on saying that throughout the video, I'm sorry, but I really highly recommend everybody that I'm going to talk about in this entire video. So this guy, another Russian painter, I don't know how to pronounce any of these Russian words, but this is his Instagram tag up there. I follow this guy for a number of years now. I think he's predominantly plein air, but he does do studio works like you can see there. Man, this guy is awesome. I just love the way he applies his brush work. I love the way he applies paint and works his subject with like such, you know, loose, but he just gets those one little marks and you can tell exactly what it is. You know, I think he just does a phenomenal job with the way he paints. It's just so good. I love the way he paints. So Jeremy Windbog, I followed this guy for a little, probably under a year, maybe a year now. This guy, he's been doing these Native American paintings lately. They're just fucking fantastic. This guy is so sick. He's like, just take a look at what I mean. Like, he's got this perfectly beautifully rendered woman, but then, you know, the background just like this nice scratched up background and expressive, and then goes, you know, even her clothes look expressive, but you know, when we get in uptight, of course, look at that brush work there. You know, it's all nice and calculated, controlled. You know, he knows exactly where he wants to put that brush stroke, and he puts it right there. He's just awesome. Look at that. That looks amazing, don't you think? I think he's just a fucking awesome painter. Like, look at his latest work there. That's awesome. Look at that horse, you know? That's just a crazy. Like, you can tell it's a horse, but then through here, he's just got these scraped up marks and over here and around, and that's awesome. And then you come into the woman, and she's beautifully rendered. I really like that sort of thing where you get the figure really nice and beautifully rendered, but the background is like, it's there, it's there to complement the woman, but it's only there to complement the figure. And I think that just works so well. Peter Brown, I've been following Peter Brown for maybe 2 years now. Maybe a bit over 2 years, I think. Quite a number of years. His plein air works are just fantastic. Look at that. He knows his lights inside and out. He knows his values inside and out, and he knows how to put across a fantastic composition. Like, the way this guy paints is just awesome. Look at that, just little scribble like mark, and you know instantly what it is. It looks so great. Brad Teary, I think that's how you pronounce it. Brad, I've been following him for probably only a year. His works are just awesome. His works are something else, man. Like, how would you even describe this? Like, his works are so flowy and impressionistic, and just so beautiful in the way that he crafts it. I'll show you. Maybe he's got a close up here. Here you go. Like, look at that brushwork there. It's just so sick. I just love that brushwork, that palette work. I think it looks mostly paletized, but I think I've seen him use brushes before. I could be wrong, but he's just super expressive. I hate to use the word expressive because it leans itself to not controlled. But this guy knows exactly where he's putting that paint, and he's in control of the medium. He's using it to tell a story, not the medium using him. It's fantastic. I think it's Haiti Joe Summers. She's a fantastic on plein air painter. I think she's mostly on plein air. Again, look at this. Like, how amazing is that? That's just something else, man. Like, the way she's left those shadows in there and then brought these lights right here. This compositional piece is just amazing. For an on plein air piece as well. Fucking fantastic. The way that she crafts her pieces is just so awesome. Look at that. You got those little strokes of light through there, and the dog there looks awesome. Looks so nice. She's done figurative work on plein air too. Like, imagine that. This is fucking incredible. Painting people on plein air in this environment. It's fucking phenomenal. It takes a really skilled artist to do such a thing. I think her on plein air works are fantastic. Carol Bosch, I think that's how you pronounce it. Carol Bosch Art on Instagram. Her works are just something else, man. It's sick. I love this. It's just it's like blocked sort of brush work. I think maybe palette knife type of work. Look at the scale of that. Look at that. That looks awesome, man. I'm loving that. This video is just going to be a compilation of me saying that's awesome. I love that. This is fantastic. Highly recommend. I think that's how this video is going to go. But man, I love it. This is a whole nother way of painting. And like, look at that work, man. Look at that goddamn work. That looks fucking awesome. I think this looks phenomenal. I'm really stoked on all that. That looks so sick. Michelle Dunaway, if you haven't heard of her, you should. She's a pupil of Richard Schmidt. If you don't know Richard Schmidt, you should go look him up. He's fantastic. That's him there. That's her there. Man, her paintings are something else too. Like, the way that she draws, very classical, very Sargent inspired. Fantastic paintings. Like, there's some of her portrait work there. There's her building it up. There, I love it so much. There's one of her latest pieces, a portrait commission she did for a friend of hers with her son. Then there's some falcon work she painted. It's just awesome. She's got some really great works. I really love her. I love her paintings. Mark McGorry, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if it's not. Man, if you like beautifully rendered paintings, you're gonna love Mark. He's a French, now American citizen. Pretty sure he just got it the other day. This guy is just something else. This is one of his older paintings, but I'll try and find you some of his latest paintings. This is one of his latest ones, Riders of the Coyote Moon. Man, look at everybody goes on about his clouds. His clouds are phenomenal, but everything he does is just so fantastic. Like, look at that. You're probably thinking these are photos right now. That would just be a shame to say, because these are beautifully crafted masterworks of paintings. A photo just dulls down couldn't compare to such an awesome piece of art. The way that he renders and plays with light, and the way that he's just this master with light, it's just so fantastic. I really highly recommend you go check out his works. He's mainly just a Western sort of painter. That by no means takes away from his craft. His craft is incredible. Like the colors that he uses, the clouds and everything, it's fantastic. I love it so much. Glenn Dean's fan-fucking-tastic. I love Glenn Dean. The way Glenn Dean paints, it's just something else. Man, the simplicity of Glenn Dean, the way that he just beautifully crafts everything. You can tell this man's done so much like on plein air studies, because it comes out in his works, you know. His works are just so lifelike in colors and richness and values. I really, really love his works so much. They're so fantastic. Eric Bowman, another high recommendation. I think everybody here is a high recommendation. But Eric Bowman, another Western painter. I love the way that he uses his light. I only found this guy the other day, to be honest. And I just saw this one painting. I was like, that's awesome. Simplicity in his brush strokes and his brush work. Look at those big brush work sort of marks there and expressive marks there. And then this nice tight sort of work here through the body. And that light, you know, just sweeping in through the background. It looks fantastic. Like, look at that from this distance. Looks so, so nice. And then his larger works. I just love that. It's just something about it. This like blocked out sort of, it's like a draftsman-like painting, you know what I mean? It's just so nice. Richard Musgrave Evans, fucking awesome bloke. He's Australian, and I first found him in the Australians Plein Air Painters group many years ago. The way he paints is fucking awesome. He's mostly palette knives. I've never really seen him work in brushes, except for maybe when he's like in the studio working on some pieces there. I think he brings out a couple of brushes, but I think he's just predominantly palette knives. These little studies aren't really what he usually paints. He usually paints these beautiful big landscape paintings. I see. There you go. You get a sense of how big his paintings are, and they're always on plein air. Pretty much all the time he paints on plein air. These massive, beautiful, rich, vibrant plein air pieces of these landscapes with these beautiful crafted palette knife marks. And look at him go. Really recommend you follow this guy too. Awesome. Trent Gunn Munson, I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. This guy, you know, he really paints real different to anything I've seen before. He's got this really beautiful style to him. It's like a scrape back in the background and only focusing on what he wants to focus on. They predominantly just look. I think he's just mainly figures. I think that's like his favorite sort of his favorite thing to focus on is figures. But the way he paints it, it's always really textured. I think he lays this like textured ground on his paintings. You can see how the gesso there is really textured. So when he paints on it, it gives this really unique texture to it, and it really adds itself to his work, because his work, look at that, it's just so great. I really love that. Michael Hall, I found this guy maybe the other week, and I'm fucking stunned. You know, it's always just fucking amazing to find sculptors like this in today, because, you know, you usually think that there's not any amazing sculptors left in the world. You're dead wrong. This guy is something else. Like, his works are just so awesome. It looks so great. I think this one was called the Oracle or something. If I was looking at it the other day, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But his sculptures and his works, like, look at that. God damn, man. Fuck. That looks phenomenal. Look at the feathers there, the wings, the arm. You know this guy knows his anatomy inside out. And his compositions are so beautiful and so, like, masterfully rendered. Like, look, you can see the scale of things there. It's just so great. I love this work so much. So stoked I found him. Connor Walton, another artist I found quite a while ago. Look at this. He painted a bunch of mandarins or something in a plastic bag. Look how nice that is. Like, look at the brushwork through that. This guy knows how to, play with colors, play with tone, values to get across like anything. There's some of his, I think this just won a prize, isn't it? Yeah, the third prize. That's his self-portrait there. His figurative and his still lives look so fantastic. Like, damn, man, that's so beautifully and meticulously rendered. Fucking awesome. Denis Perrin, I found this guy a while ago too. I love his still lifes. I love his flowers. I wish I could paint flowers like this. You know, I've got to, you know, take some tips, take some pointers, take some study notes from this guy. The way this guy paints flowers is so beautiful and so expressive and so lifelike. Man, just awesome painter. Henrik Aldean. This guy, you've probably heard about this guy. He's nearly like 1 million followers. Fantastic works. Like he's like he builds it up in a way, and then he sort of makes it deconstructed or takes away from it by putting paint on top of it, like you can see here, or you know, leaves it a bit like unfinished, you know, with just as few marks as he needs to render out what he wants to say. You know, this guy knows his values, knows his tones. Fantastic. Such a beautiful painter. You can see why he's highly followed. He's nearly got 1 million followers. Just fantastic painter. I love his works. Jim McVicker. I think he's predominantly an on plein air painter. I just love the way he paints landscapes and paints nature. I love his brushwork. His brushwork is so sick. This is the type of brushwork I try and emulate a lot in my landscape paintings. I love that. I love this. Where's this? Yellowstone. So Yellowstone National Park in America there. Just looks so nice. Richard Carter. I love the way this guy paints. It's just so nice. You're going to hear me say I love the way people paint. It's true. This is why I followed him, man. Like, look at that. There's the actual thing, and there's his painting of it. You know, he's dulled down. Oh, probably the lights changed on him and stuff, whatever. But look at that. You can see the train coming out there on the tracks there. It's like the center of focus, that one light coming out from the mountain there. And there's his sense of light and the way he plays with light. I love it so much. Awesome painter. Albin Veselka. The key is to say it confidently when you don't know how to pronounce the name. I love his portrait work. Look at his hands, man. Does he show that? Does he get in close? Yeah, there we go. Man, I love it when portraits and figures are painted in such a style where it's just this nice and loose, expressive, beautiful style like this. Look at those hands, man. That's the shit I live for. That's the shit I really try and emulate in my paintings. Is this loose and simplistic brushwork, but you get it. You know exactly what you're looking at. Like, those are a pair of hands, and they're beautifully crafted. His figurative work and his landscape work is all fantastic. I love it so much. Oh yeah, so he just finished this one not so long ago. I love it. I just love the composition. You got the hay bale or the sacks of whatever, and the horses here, and this nice, beautiful open landscape. So good. Alex Hilkertz, beautiful, like, how would you say, urban sketcher-esque, or watercolorist. Fantastic works. You know, he knows his medium inside and out. You know, you can't paint beautiful watercolors like this without knowing the craft back to front. Like, look at these corkscrews. Have you ever been able to paint just corkscrews like this well? Most people just look at corkscrews and like, okay, the corkscrews, what? Look at that. Fucking damn, man. God damn. I love it. I love the way he paints. His colors are so beautiful, even though, you know, he's using like 2 or 3 colors here, and it looks colorful as. But it's just the way that he knows how to apply it. It is fantastic. Nick Runge, Los Angeles painter. This is him on the Instagram. I found him the other day from this painting. I was like, God damn, look at that composition. Look at the way he's put that paint together there, and the brushwork and the colors and everything that he's done there. And then his watercolors are phenomenal too. I love it. I love it so much. His watercolors is something else. Lyndsey Custis. I could have butchered that name, but I'm very sorry if I did. Her works are fantastic. Like, I saw she posted this like 6 days ago. Oof, man, look at that. that's just so beautiful. The way that light into this beautifully lit city. You know, I hate cities, but this makes me love it. Look at that. That looks so beautiful. Look at this street there going. You can see all the way down the street into the more trees over there, and the houses here beautifully rendered. And man, you're so skilled to be able to paint like this. Her works is just awesome stuff. Really highly recommend you follow her. Dameon Lessard. Man, this guy paints beautiful figurative works, and his brush work is just masterful. And his sense of light and the way he uses light and his compositions also so fantastic. I really love the way this guy paints figures. Scott L Christiansen, fantastic landscape painter. He paints landscapes the way I want to paint landscapes. Look, he's at Yellowstone there, and these landscapes are just so beautiful. You can see him working on one here. Look at the scale of that, and the way he paints, so beautiful. I love the technique and the colors and the application. Just fantastic. This is really how I really try and emulate my landscapes, something to this quality. Just fantastic painter. I love his works. Really try and emulate. I really try and emulate his style into my landscape paintings. I've been following this guy for quite some time. Such a beautiful painter. If you don't know Jeremy, man, you should stop right now and go look him up and go follow him on everything, even though he's not on social media anymore. He stopped posting to social media and will probably never come back. I don't think he's ever going to come back, which is sad, but you can follow his, you can be a part of his email list where he can update you with all his latest works and stuff like that that he does pretty regularly on a weekly basis, I'd say. His on-plane air works are beautiful, but probably everybody knows him for his figurative works. His figurative works are so beautiful. He's definitely one of my all-time inspirations. I've got his sketchbook here. It's a beautiful sketchbook. I'm saving up to buy his painting books. His painting books, I'm really coveting. I really want those. His figurative work is just so beautiful. And the way that he goes about crafting his works with his self-made cameras and getting in all these props and all these designs and sets and all these couches he has, fucking awesome, you know. And then he does these cityscapes. People have probably seen these cityscapes before. Man, he really started the ball rolling on these types of cityscapes. Super beautiful. If you don't know him, go follow him. Cesar Santos. If you don't know Cesar Santos, where the fuck have you been? Go follow his YouTube. Go follow his Instagram. Go follow his Facebook. Go follow this man on everything. If you have the beautiful opportunity to go view his work in Maxwell Alexander Gallery in Los Angeles, go do that. If you have that amazing opportunity, I'd highly recommend you do that. It's awesome. This man, I own his portrait painting video. It costs $200. Worth every cent. Fucking love this guy. The instructions he gives and the way that he paints, so beautiful, so well crafted. Just this beautiful energy, this beautiful craftsmanship and masterwork to his paintings. The way that he applies tone, the way that he applies colors. Man, this guy knows his shit inside, out, back to front. I love every little bit about it. His drawings, his paintings, everything. He's just a phenomenal artist through and through. Really highly recommend that you go follow him. Jeremy Lipking. Surely you've heard of Jeremy Lipking. What are you doing if you haven't heard of Jeremy Lipking? He's a phenomenal figurative painter and landscape painter. His figurative work is so beautifully rendered and crafted. It's just so phenomenal. I just love the way that he just applies paint and the way he does it. It's just so beautiful. If you don't know Lipking, go follow Lipking. His works are something else. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the video with this one. Andrew fucking Tischler, the goddamn man, the goddamn G. This is the man that you want to go follow on YouTube. Watch all his videos, buy his works, you know, if you have the money, but also pay for his goddamn video instructional videos. Fucking awesome, dude. This is one of his older works. I'll try and find one of his latest works. This is one of the canyon works that he's been working on. Man, goddamn, look at that scale. He's just such an incredible painter, and the way that he applies his brush works and his paintings, awesome stuff. He did these Milford and Sound painting that he just did. I don't know if he posted up the finished painting somewhere. Here's a little close-up of his finished painting, but I'm trying to see if I got the actual painting, if he's posted it anywhere. I don't think he has. This is him working on it in the earlier stages. Goddamn legend. I love it so much. He's such a phenomenal painter. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Otherwise, we're going to be here for another 24 hours or some shit. I might make another episode if you guys are keen on that. I've got hundreds of artists to go and suggest to you and recommend to you and follow. But if you like this video, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Give it a like, hit subscribe. If you haven't hit subscribe before, hit subscribe and then hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload. I have a weekly podcast with Avalon, my fiance, called Painter and Poet Podcast. We upload weekly, and we're in the third episode coming out soon. So if you like what you saw today and you want more episodes like this, leave me a comment down below. Let me know that. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Catch ya.